Mira, mommy, thank you so much. Aww. Thank you. So beautiful. Thank you so much.
Hi there, how are you?
Wow. Thank you. These are beautiful. Thank you so much. I love them. And you're fabulous. Since we were 11. She's been my friend since we were 11 years old. Crazy. This is Sarah Burke. Sarah's my fabulous. And then there's Sarah.
That's a cool guy.
Look. I know you're cool and all.
Yeah, let's do this.
Shake my hand.
No, we're supposed to do this. Come on. Now, what's his name? Come on. Oh. She wants a picture of you.
Yeah, we are. Wait, they know.
You're filming.
Congratulations to Jane.
Thank you all so much. I'm pretty excited and happy.
Awesome. We're happy for you. Happy to be here. Beautiful home.
Are you good? I don't know.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, thank you.
How are you? I'm good. Probably not supposed to be this. I'm supposed to be mine. She's taking over. She's taking over your job. I'll go and do it. I'll go to my post. The next roll. How you doing? Oh, good to see you. You're fine. You're just fine. How are you? You see my son? Oh, you see my son? See my baby. Is Mary here? Yes. She's good. She's good. Excuse me. Helen! I was so excited. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay.
Right here on this chair would be ideal. Excuse me, I gotta get to my nephew. I said, do you see my son? I see your son. Elena, this is my son. Ashton, my heart for real.
Hi, Ashton.
And you. It's not gonna work. Water. I know. I wear it so infrequently. She's filming. No, my son. No, I heard, so now I know. Miss Helen, Ashton, Mary. Hi, Mary. Yeah. Nice to meet you. So are you. Have you met Mary? Church at the
think we have some in Ohio still.
Yes. Not a real immediate though.
Sure. Okay,
Yeah.
put it in your mouth.
That's my birthday.
Because all of
Really?
all of his mother's folks are
Thank you
from
so much.
Tennessee.
Okay.
So I was born in.
Well, I'm sorry.
One of these days I'm gonna go back.
Have you been back?
Oh, it's been a while. It's been I don't know, 10 or 15 years. since I've been back.
Fine looking gentleman.
Say hello.
To Jane's book release celebration. Give her a round of applause. I have a bio to read about Jane, but before I do that, I know she will do her thanks and of the people who her family who opened up their home to her to say, you know what, we would love for you to have your event in our home. And it's so much more personal when you're able to celebrate something that you've achieved with people that care about you, love you, support you, and want the best for you. And so with that, I just want to say that no, you can't start crying. We have pictures, remember? So, I remember when Jane came to me, and if you don't know, I guess I should say I'm Pat Gillum. I'm the CEO and founder of the Sisterhood Extravaganza. It is a women's empowerment network, and Jane joined our organization through GoDaddy. They are doing a corporate member sponsorship for our organization, and so she became a part of our organization through that venue, and she came in with a whole heart, just helping out, supporting. And sometimes you don't know what people's gifts are when they come into your life. And Jane came in, we were having a men's celebration, and I said, I really want to do something to honor the men that are here in our community doing great work. Because in light of the Me Too movement, which is a great movement, by the way, that really talks about some of the things that women have had to deal with, what I didn't want was society to start pitting men and women against each other. What I wanted us to realize that there was a problem, and now how do we work together to solve the problem? And so that was one of the biggest reasons I did the honoring men in the community from a part of our women's organization. I asked Jane, hey, I knew she had written a book, and I also knew because when she attended one of my very first sister circles, she wrote me a poem about the importance of sisterhood, of women really getting together and supporting each other authentically. You're not just in theory saying, yes, I support you, but she really reached out and said, I love the work you're doing, and here's a poem I wrote about it, and literally wrote it, you guys, overnight. I knew then, because it would have taken me years. I knew then that she had something special. And then she said, and I talked about what I do, helping women write books and get their books published. And she said, I wrote a book. I go, you did? She said, yeah. She says, I'm going to go to Kentucky. My sister's going to go with me. And I'm going to have my book released there. And we weren't there. None of our family, were there for her. So when she came back, she said, how do I get my book out there? How do I really let people know I wrote this book and why I wrote this book? And I said, well, let's do a book launch celebration in Phoenix. She says, we can? Yes, we can. We can do whatever we want. And she says, how do we do it? I was like, well, let's plan it. Let's get it together. And so, hence is what you see today. Her stepping out on faith, really being empowered to say, I can have everything I say I want. And so knowing that she has been, this idea around this book, she's going to tell you how long it was that she birthed. This was an idea of hers that she held on to. She was pregnant for years, y'all. And and she finally gave birth to this baby. This amazing, beautiful baby that we're all going to embrace here today. And so I just want to say, Jane not only is an amazing mother, she is a great employee. She is somebody who's definitely a part of my inner circle. My leadership team has supported me, has helped me in everything that we're doing to show how women really do support other women. And of course, you all know that she's an amazing employee. Also does her job, has been there. She posted recently she was just received an award at her company for being there for so many years. She she's also received the literary award for this book, you guys, through the Professional Women's Network. So give her a round of applause. Without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to my sister, my friend, your author, Jane Ary. I love you.
Thank you so much for coming. I can do this, right?
Yes.
So I'm really excited to share Jimmy Smith and the Corn, subtitled Creating a Heart of Service.
Drop the paper.
Thank you. Creating a heart of service, because I really think that so many of us as children are lacking service. We don't provide a service anymore. So I'll just share with you quickly, on my dating site it says, what are you passionate about? and the things that I listed are, I'm passionate about the way we treat our elderly and how we treat our children. So that's just very near to my heart. Years ago, when Jimmy Smith first began, I was putting my then 6-year-old son, who's here with me in the room, which kind of blows my mind. I'm so excited. He didn't have to work today. And well, he did, but he's here now. and I put him to bed, and we always read at night. Every time I put him to sleep, we read, because I just wanted him to have words and diction and how to pronounce and how to spell. And so we did a lot of reading, and I went to grab a book from the bookshelf, and he was 6, and he said, "No, Mama, just make something up." I said, "Okay, make something up. Okay, I got this, right?" And I made up this story about this little boy who didn't want to do his chores, and through the course of the book, he discovers helping somebody else helps get his things done. So I made this story up to him and put him to sleep, and 2 days later I could still remember every word. I mean, verbatim. I had it in my head, and I thought, okay, I didn't really do anything with that. A week later, I still had it. A week later, I still had it. So I called my Uncle Papa. Everyone knows my Uncle Papa. I called Uncle Papa in Houston, Texas, and I said, "Uncle Papa, I have this story I told Ashton." I said, "I can't, it won't let me go. I still have it." And I said, "I know it word for word." And he said, "Baby, I need you to sit and write it down." So I did that. I sat down at my kitchen table in my apartment, and I wrote it down on scratch paper. Beautiful, good to see you. And there it stayed for another 3, 4, however many years. And then I transferred it one day, who knows, probably cleaning up to throw away stuff that I didn't need. I came across it again, and I was like, "Oh, I should probably put this on my DOS computer." So I did that. I put it on my computer, and there it stayed. And then when that computer started to die, and I transferred it to, they had flash drives now, so I put it on the flash drive, and it stayed there for another 5, 10 years. Well, my son is 26, right? Right. So 20 years later, last year, I saw a post on Facebook from one of my friends, and it was a picture of her holding a book, and I reached out to her and I said, "Geez, I knew you were in Florida doing big things, but you wrote a book?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Tell me about that." And she said, "I didn't know what I was doing. I worked with a lady named Linda Eastman. She works with 10 authors a year. Here's her information." I reached out to this lady on a Saturday. I got the nerve, 20 seconds of courage. I reached out to her, and she emailed me back Sunday and said, "I would love to know more." I was number 10 of the 10 authors she works with in a year. So she took me on and took me through this process, and it was so amazing. And what you see is this is the culmination of a 20-year dream. And I will tell you, when she asked me questions about what I wanted and what my vision was and what I thought. Every time we spoke, I spoke to her with my eyes closed, one day a month for the course of like 9 months. Like it took me that long because she's in Kentucky and I'm here. And so we did that. And when you go through this book and you look at these pictures, I think it's very important for you to know that the artist is an 18-year-old girl who received this information secondhand from my book coach then. I have a new book coach now, just saying. But only because I'm closer. And she, you know, she said, "What do you see?" And I would tell her, "This is what I see," and blah, blah, and she would take that back to this young girl, and that girl would nail it every single time. I'd get it back and go, wow, she did exactly what I saw without me ever even speaking to her. The pictures that you see, the house here is, it's embellished a tiny bit, but it's my grandparents' home in Oxford, Louisiana, down the red dirt road. And to the left of the house was this massive cornfield that my grandparents used to go in and pull their food from, and it was just amazing that those are the pictures that I had when I was putting this together and telling her what I wanted to see. And that was, sorry, I closed there. So you'll learn that Jimmy Smith didn't want to do his chores. So he opts out, but then discovers that helping somebody else gets his stuff done. I think I'm going to read just a portion so that you can hear a little bit about Jimmy. This is page 5. Each day, Jimmy Smith would have to help his mama around the farm. You know, like cleaning up, feeding the animals, and picking vegetables. Jimmy Smith didn't much mind the cleaning and the feeding, but he sure did hate picking corn and potatoes, because that's what they had most of. And it would just get Jimmy Smith's goat to have to pick those corn and potatoes. One day, Jimmy Smith's mama came outside and said, "Jimmy Smith, I need you to go and pick some corn and potatoes." Jimmy Smith sighed a big sigh and grunted a little. Ugh. "Go on now," his mama said, "and hurry back. There's a big storm a-coming our way, and it's gonna be an ugly one from the looks of it." Jimmy Smith grabbed a big basket and started to walk into the cornfields. As he walked, he turned around and looked at the house. Why, he could barely see it through all the corn. Then a smug grin came across his face. If he could barely see the house, then maybe Mama couldn't see him either. So Jimmy Smith set his basket down, and then he set himself down. And before long, Jimmy was fast asleep. So if you continue reading, you'll see where it goes. Thank you all so much. I'm really excited. I have another book in the works. Years ago, a young lady told me when I read this story to her, she said, she prayed with me and said, "I wish a trilogy over you." And I said, "I received that." Yes, I love that. So the second book is completed here. It's titled Jimmy Smith and the Magic Chalkboard. Okay. Subtitled The Magic is in You. So I get to share that with children again, and maybe the next year, that there's magic inside them and they have what they need here. If we can just do what we can to be of service and help bring that out. Thanks.
So each of you, when you walked in, should have received a piece of paper that said, "How did you meet Jane?" And what about Jane drew you to her? So what I'd like to ask is, because I believe in there's medicine everywhere we go through the people that we meet. And so I believe that there may be someone in this room today that you might need to connect with that might be able to make a powerful connection for you in other ways. So by you sharing who you are and how did you meet Jane and what about Jane drew you to her. And in addition to what drew you to her, if you'd like to say any words of congratulatory to her today about this great thing that she's done, because let me tell you something, as you know, and I think she shared that, I work with authors. I've helped over 60 women write books, and 20 of those have become best-selling authors. And so with that being said, I know Z and I, who's here today, who's also part of Sisterhood, is getting ready to be a part of a book collaboration that she and I and 10 other women are working on for January. So writing a book is not easy. So I want you guys to know this. When I talk to people, they say, I want to do it. A lot of people want to do it. But to actually hold on to something for 20 years and to finally see that thing come to pass, come to fruition, it's no easy feat. This is something that truly desires to be celebrated. And I want you to know how proud of you I am, and I think everyone in this room is, of what you have been able to accomplish. Because it's not easy sometimes to birth a dream, because a lot of people die, you guys, with their dreams. And so what I would not want to happen, being an organization that really does empower women to do whatever they desire, if you want to write a book, if you want to start a business, if you want to share your message, go into ministry, whatever that thing is, know that you have the support of other people who want you to do that. And so I'm again just so proud of everything that you have accomplished and the things that you're going to accomplish, because what she does serves other people. Before you share that, I want to let you know, as an author, you know, books cost anywhere between $10 and $20, right? One of the things I tell people, because people have often come to me and said, Pat, I want to write a book. I want to make a lot of money writing my book. You're not going to make a lot of money writing a $10 or $20 book, okay? So I just want you to know that. You won't make money off of your book sales. Now, what I do is why the work that we're going to do is so important is I help women understand there's over 20 other ways that you can make $1 million being an author. And one of them is now when she starts this trilogy about having a children's book, do you know how many people will pick that up and pay her $30,000, $40,000, $50 to come out and speak to young kids? Because people realize literacy anywhere between 0 to 5 years old is when that whole thing happens around reading, and that's when those skills are developed. So that is something that's very important, that I try to help authors understand that gift that they've been given and how to truly make money from their gift. And your gift will make room for you. That's what God means when he says that it will provide for you. And so I want people to know, don't just write a book just to write a book. Write a book and have a passion and have a reason to serve others that you do it. And it truly will make a way for you to provide for your family and the legacy that she's done today. So I'm going to obviously put the man of the hour on the spot, because if it were not for him begging for a story, we would not be here today. So the first person who will talk about how did you meet her and congratulatory.
Hello everybody, my name is Ashton Ary. My full name is Ashton Thomas Ary Pearson, just to put everything together. How did you meet Jane?
Yeah, how did you meet her?
My eyes weren't open for the first 2 or 3 years, but I'm pretty sure it was when I was 3 years old when I actually looked at Jane and had the idea that this is my mother, this is Mom. What about Jane drew you to her? She brought the bacon home. But I knew that she was the provider, and that she was my mother, so that's what drew me to her at this stage. I think that's all I have.
Anything you'd like to congratulatory to say about her story?
What I can say is you've held on to this book for a very long time. When I used to do research in school, and still see that little icon that said Jimmy Smith in the corner. I saw it for years. I saw it for years opening up windows. So, years. And you always said that you wanted to be a book, and even before then, you always said that you wanted to be an author. Anytime I did any high school writing, literature, anything, and they said, where did you get this from? And I would say, my mother writes. So now it's actually amazing to say that my mother's an author, and that's what I do. So I'm just proud of you. I'm proud that you put yourself into this book, and that you did not stop on your journey. Because I know the backstory to everything about you. You are. It blows me away. It blows me away. I told you. I don't mean to make this long. I told you before when I saw you talking to all those young boys and them looking at you the way I know I used to look at you, and you telling them about this book, that they are really listening. And I'm proud of you. I'm gonna say this one time. I'm proud of you, Jim.
How did I meet Jane?
Who are you?
I'm sorry, I'm Mary Cozy. I'm Ashton's girlfriend. I met Jane through her wonderful son, Ashton. What drew me to her most was her kindness and humility. You have given women all over the inspiration to do that. So, congratulations on you. I'll give you a hug.
You know I want to hug all of you, right? You know that I'm going to want to hug all of you each time you say something. So I'm going to, okay. You're not going to do that, are you? Oh, I'm trying not to. It's killing me.
My name is Cynthia.
Okay, after you.
Go ahead.
After you, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Cynthia Ary Eisman. I'm Jane's oldest sister. I'm her only sister. And let's see what the questions say. How did I meet Jane? Well, she came along 5 years after I was born. And to tell you the truth, she was always that one that pretty much didn't listen to Mama. She was always the one that my mother had to say something to 2 or 3 times. My dad had to say 2 or 3 times before she really got it. Which was okay because I could see that she was like a fighter, for lack of a better word. She was one that was not going to just go along just to get along. She was going to be that one that said, you know what, I'm going to challenge this. I'm just going to see how far I can push this. And she would push it pretty far. One time my mother had to talk her down from a telephone pole. Because she, back in the day, they used to have telephone poles that had the little things where you could step up. Well, she was that little girl that decided, you know, that I can climb that. So let me see if I can climb that. And so she did that. And I remember my mother speaking to her very softly to please come down. Because she was way up too far. And she didn't want her to get hurt, of course. So that's the type of little girl Jane was. And she became a young adult like that as well. And so I was always the one that was telling her, maybe you better think about it like this. Maybe you shouldn't do it like that. And she listens sometimes, because she doesn't listen today either. So it was just a beautiful life that we had together. That cornfield and that house that she's speaking of were very, very fun memories for us. I remember our father and our mother taking us there. And we know how to draw water from a well. Yes. We can chop wood. We had a smokehouse. We lived in the country for the summertime. And it was a beautiful life. And that cornfield, you could land a jet in it. Yeah. That's how huge it was. You could land a plane in there. and it would not harm the home. That's how big it was. And so I remember her and I just having just fun times in the summertime. I mean, we would go in the watermelon patch and bust my grandmother's watermelons when she had been watching them for months, and we shouldn't have touched them. So she would go and get the watermelon, but yet still we had busted on the porch and ate it without a fork or a knife or anything. And so that's the childhood we had. It was very beautiful. I will always say that we had a great childhood. So growing up, fast forwarding, I have been always the one that she has shared things with that came off the top of her head. Like, I'm going to say this one and I'm going to leave it alone. There was a bumper sticker that she wanted to do. A couple of them. One of them was, because she got tired of people riding the back of her driving. They would ride the back of her. You know how people like tailgate? She would say, you know what, if you're gonna ride my ASS, you might as well pull my hair. And then she wanted to make it a bumper sticker. And I'm just telling you, these are the kind of things that she would come up with. And I was like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? But it was true. I mean, she was like, if you are really going to do that, you might as well pull my hair and turn the back of me. And so it was like,
That would be hilarious.
Things like that. That was very daring. But I had to say this. That's who she was. She would say things like that. And so,
Vanessa, over the cliff.
Anyway, on that note, Jane has birthed this Jimmy Smith. I watched her raise Ashton by herself with Uncle Jesse around to be that mentor of that man. Here in Phoenix, and it's been a beautiful life with my sister. It really, really has. And thank you so much for being here, everyone. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
What I really would like to say is that we're so happy and so pleased that we can honor a niece of mine like this. Jane happens to be the daughter of the second oldest son of my mother. I was the third. My mother had 7 children. And my brother William is really Jane's father. We all lived in the deep south in Louisiana, like she said. I know a little bit about the cornfields too. The neat thing about Jane that you need to know, that I know, is that when my brother William said that he was going to have a child and the name would be Jane, and he was going to name her Jane U Ary. She doesn't know that that has really kept in my mind all of her years, because I was born in January. The other neat thing about Jane is that she's the only other Ary who decided to vanish away from the South here in Phoenix, Arizona. And she came here as a little child, probably knee-high to a duck, wanting to find her way around. And I was able to assist her in getting established here, getting a home, getting an apartment, getting her way around. And Ashton, you were probably known to me as a person who needed a little bit of fatherly help in school, and I even provided that for you. But when Jane wrote this book, and she called it One Child at a Time, and she said that the pictures on that book were designed by a special young lady, she doesn't know this, but I also had the good pleasure of working as a supervisor here in the valley with the whole southwest part of town. I was supervising all of the developmental disability adults. These are folks who had special needs. And one of the persons who was on my caseload knew the kind of one child at a time is a worthwhile endeavor. And she came to me and she said that I'd like to write a little story for you. This lady was, I think she was not only a person who had developmental disability, but she too was able to color this and put it on my wall at the Department of Economic Security. And you know what it says? It says, do all the good you can in all of the ways you can, to all the souls you can, at all the times you can, with all the zeal you can, in every place you can, as long as ever you can. And that's what she and I have tried to do all these years. I wanted you to be pleased about the fact that Jane is not only my niece, but Jane is my friend, and we love her dearly. I was able to get the book endorsed, and I'm going to actually see if we can get it. I don't know if you're aware, but I was appointed by the governor to the State Board of Education, and this kind of book ought to be in an elementary school.
Yes.
And I will do what I can to help cause that to happen. So God bless you, Jane.
Larry, I gotta get over here, if you don't mind. So, let's see. So, I'm Jesse Ary's son, and Jane is my first cousin. Now, as well as Cynthia. Now, so for those who aren't aware, my dad and our family, we kind of ventured out of here into Phoenix. I didn't really know too many people. Okay? And we took this journey out here to Phoenix. At least for me, I didn't know a lot of people. And so I have a brother, Brian, and so both of us were raised here by my mom and my dad. We grew up, moved on, and we left Phoenix. Both Brian and I are now in California. Jane, I was always nervous of who's going to take care of Mom and Dad. We don't have any more family in this area. And so Jane took on that role. She ventured, like my dad said, she ventured out here to Phoenix. She is amazing. What I'm impressed with is her tenacity. Being a single parent, for those of you who don't know, extremely, extremely challenging. I've got a daughter and I'm struggling, my wife and I are struggling. And so, to be a single parent and raise a child, the way she has, very little help. In a city which, this is brand new to her. She came to Phoenix basically with the assistance, my dad and mom were able to help, and all of us are able to help you. But she did this on her own for the most part. Ashton is, she Jane is very Christian oriented. And so what drove me and what I'm impressed with is that she has incredible tenacity, you know, incredible strength. She's a risk taker. She takes extreme risk. A lot of folks don't like taking risks because they're afraid of failure. Jane is not. She's going to take risk. This book is evidence of that. And then she has a Christian belief, which is very strong, you know, with her and her family. So that's what, you know, that's what's drove me. And, you know, of course I love you and I'll continue and, you know.
She's been there through all my pregnancies, my birth. We've been in our lives forever, and I'm very proud of her. I love you. And Jimmy Smith's gonna keep on going, baby.
Yeah.
I'll tell everybody where the bodies are later. That'll be my book, okay?
So my name is Cecilia. I'm her daughter, her niece. I've known Jane my whole life. What has drawn me to her and kept me around her is her light. She lights up an entire room. She brings this inspiration to everyone she meets, and like Mom said, this is good. He's going to live a long life, and I can't wait to see where he goes. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
My name is Anthony Morales. Cecilia's my wife. I actually met Jane as Titi Jane. She told me I was one of the most important persons in her life. And this was back in 05, 06 now. And what drew me to her is just her heart. She's always welcoming. You can never, she can't walk into a room, you say, "Hi, Titi." No, you better get up, give her a hug, or she will come to you. And that's the biggest attraction, is just her heart, her openness. She treats you, she always welcomed me open arms, and since the beginning, treating me like, you know, one of the kids around, so it's always beautiful. Like, you deserve this.
Her personality, she is a very loyal friend. Jane is just, is no longer a friend, she's more like family to my family, my kids. My daughter wanted to be here so bad, of course my kids did too. And she's like, "Take my boyfriend so he can meet her." We, you know, of course, ditto to everything that everyone has said today. Jane is just that person, that loyal friend, very loving, got a huge heart, and of course, through her and her sister. I think through pictures I've met most of her family. I'm very proud of you, Jane. This is great. I remember Jane was thinking about writing a book, and she just, when she had it, happy.
And Ashton were good friends, and I was at a gas station filling up my car when this really chirpy, pleasant, bubbly lady walks up to me and introduces herself. I had no idea who she was because our sons knew each other, and we've been friends ever since. They were what, kindergarten probably? Yeah, and now they're 26 and having kids and right? She's here. So I am so excited for her and so proud of you. And I keep telling her, don't forget the little people when you're walking, you know, interviewing with Oprah. Remember us.
Thank you.
And these are my parents.
Oh, hi. I'm Whitney, and I met Jane. We were in our reserve seating at Pilgrim. We used to sit in the same spot all the time. It's just comfort. Wasn't really reserve seating. And so she sat behind me all the time. She was my seatmate, and I didn't know her, but my son had very dirty glasses, and probably to this day he still has dirty glasses. And Jane just couldn't take it anymore one day, I guess. So she handed him, she tapped him and said, And she cleaned his glasses. True story. So from there, we just developed a friendship, and you know, it being common single parent, she's just been part of my community since I've been here. And what I've always loved about her is her passion and her heart, and just the way that she loves. She loves anyone, a stranger. It doesn't matter who it is. She will find a reason to love you. So I thank you for being my friend.
Did you want to share this briefly?
I met Jane when I started working in GoDaddy. And one of the things that appeals to me is that she always sees the goodness in people, no matter what the situation is. So I think it's something that I try to orbitate around people that have good energy, and I try to orbitate about people that I think that I can learn from. And Jane is just one that person. She's a person that no matter what the situation is, how bad it gets, the worst that could happen, she always tries to look at the positive and good side. And she was always there to give me a hug when I needed it at work. So, that's Jane.
Awesome. Elena, I can't see who's, is there anyone?
There was one more person back here.
Yeah, can we?
I already went.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
Okay.
I just stepped out for a second.
So, we're there.
This has been amazing. So I'm just so excited and so excited and so excited. Just so excited. Waiting for this day and wanting to make everything perfect. And I will tell you that the fact that all of you are here and each one of you that has impacted my life, you're going to get there because I just, I got you. It's just such a blessing to me. I'm grateful. I'm just really, really grateful. And my prayer for you all is that you find your service thing and do that thing that makes you happy to make others happy. And as I said, make others happy, my other head said, we can't make people happy. People have to have, but you can make the space happy. So make the space happy. Choose that. That's a choice. Leticia tells me all the time, this is my reality. So thank you. I'm just so excited and so grateful to you all.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. All right, have a seat right here.
Awesome.
Great.
How to be a sister.
Bless you. I love you so much. Wait, are you leaving home?
Yes, I have to.
Thank you.
She wants to see you. She wants to give us a
How much
Good for you.
Hi, how are you? I know her face.
I didn't realize I'm coming back. I have those of daddies now.
You're still on GoDaddy?
No.
Oh, you love her.
Gifts.
Yeah.
I got that. Is it like one? Of course. I'm wondering what you have. This is Nigel and Sienna. You don't want to use it anyway. Right. Well, yes. N-I.
N-Y-J-A-H. And Sienna, C-I.
What did you do right here?
She took a transfer.
Oh, she took my
Get your party in back if you're leaving. If you're not, when I'm going, I got you.
Go ahead, cousin. Where's my leaves?
Do I have your book? From this young lady here?
All right.
No, go ahead if you decide first.
Okay, this one is for Jameson, Jamison. That's my grandson.
Yeah, let's do that. They do look like books that should be. I have to give everybody a party.
Right?
I was thinking of that. When I was looking at the titles all the time.
Yes, she's a little ham.
I cannot believe it. I
It's so much fun.
Really, I
And that's for Dominic.
And I told him yes.
M-I-N-I-C. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That was crazy.
You're out in LA too, right?
I-N-I-C.
You're close to me.
Just me. Look at you.
I just left this morning.
And I said, I know. Look at her.
Thank you, and I'm so glad.
You know, somebody can sign you up. You know, it's good right then. You can say, yeah, thank you. You're welcome. Guys, like, I want to remember that. No, you're not going to remember now.
Yes, they're still there. They're loving it. Yeah, they're doing well. He went on to manager in the restaurant business. He's now
I'm getting my next grade. It's me.
Yes, and
and they're hot. So I'll show you this one, my baby.
I got
It's a magnet.
I call him my baby. This is my baby.
I did. I took one. But I tried to give you. I know you're
I gotta get in line.
That's my baby. His name is Jameson.
Alrighty, they're my round. Thank you for all your help.
He just has a personality that it's so much fun. I'm back. Your husband. Get one each.
I can't thank you enough.
I love her too. Jane, I love her too. She helped me a lot.
Is that the stack with the stack I gave you?
I bought one too. I need you to sign it.
He does that for her.
This is yours.
What's ever in your heart, cousin?
There's a lot going on in there.
They're waiting for me to eat, so nice to see you and happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Take care of them. Are you a coffee person? What do you like to do? No? Okay.
She's magical.
I know.
Andrea, you are gonna love this family. Chance and Summer.
Jane says that she's got
C-H-A-N-C-E. John, thanks. I love you. I love you more. Mama, did you get with Elena?
Yes. Yes, wait till you hear it.
She's magical.
You You are.
That child.
She is too.
Sweet. Yes, she's going to be quite the witness.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Mom doesn't know this.
Do you not want me to say
I'm
something?
not going to tell Mom that Cynthia. Plátanos, I got plátanos.
Where?
She's cooking. You want to cut? She's cooking. You want to cut?
Where's the plátano, guys?
You don't buy them?
I took
I can
it
put
at
my-
Maylene. I bought this at Maylene.
I don't know how to spell it. Oh, you live in Scottsdale. The one that I go to now is the Arizona
I can do happy
International
reading and
Market.
you can put their names up here. Okay.
Everything of Goya that you want.
bacalaíto.
Bacalaíto, everything. Everything.
Look at her.
Everything.
Done
It's
amazing
on Broadway
with you,
and Dobson.
I was so blown away at her speech ability. I was just like, you go, Zoe.
What I like about
She
it
is
is different from
destined for
Lily's
great
because
things.
this is an
Good job,
international market. So if you want
See, it pays to be a
you're going to
strict
find
parent.
people from every country, from every Arroz con pollo y habichuela guisada.
Good? I don't know what they just said. It sounded like it was a lot. It's rice and chicken.
And plátanos are like
Jane, how do we get
Elena has magic about the pictures. She will make certain that I get them. I know that there'll be postings on Facebook as well.
Okay, you'll make sure you
Possibly
do that.
Instagram.
Awesome.
But I'm also going to get a DVD for my dad
Yeah,
to send. So
sure. I
I'll be
think a
able to-
DVD would be perfect, yeah. You should get more, because
Yeah, we're going to try and do a book like Uncle and Auntie did with their wedding. So
I
I'll
think
have
that'd be
that.
great. Yeah. You have a lot of support.
I am so blown away.
You got your answer.
Ah, no doubt.
Same thing.
no doubt.
You think the same thing? So you coming to dinner?
I'll go. I'll go anywhere.
Coming to dinner? For Vanessa.
I didn't want to eat when I came out because I didn't think it was not as good. How crazy is that?
She just got back from San Jose. San Juan. Yeah.
So once you try the good thing, it's hard to like settle.
Oh, but Minerva looks like that.
Minerva Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Minerva Lidia Maldonado. I'm sure she.
And I didn't even like plants
But then
until I had the phone call.
they were magical. That's not fun.
Like she went to college there. Yeah, right? Yeah.
I did a camp for college.
That's amazing.
The government does a scholarship. Which is nice, but don't have a heart.
All the way through back.
That's the only way. You got all these educated people. But don't have a national crisis, because then there's no.
Then it's a wrap. Yeah. Then you don't do
There's nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
And then we can't get there. Remember, there's much water in the middle.
Hawaii has the same thing, but for some reason it does work there.
Well, you know, that's not the U.S.
Jane, she is my aunt. I've known her since I was born. She is one of the sweetest aunts in our family. Everyone in my family loves her. Me and my family love her. My cousins, we all appreciate her. We're proud of her. And whenever we need someone to watch us, we want our parents to call her.